Today on Off Topic with Jason and Amanda, we talk about some of the worst jobs you could possibly have, which would most likely be um, as a henchman who works for Nicolas Cage, according to my wife. I disagree. I'll be your henchman, Nick. And welcome to Off Topic with Jason and Amanda. That's Amanda, and I'm an idiot. Our intro did not go so smoothly before. This one is going so much better.
So much.
See, when you own your mistakes, then everyone just laughs at you. I don't know why that's better, but something about owning it just feels better about it. I don't know. I'm that kind of guy. How are you doing today?
Oh, good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Same as yesterday.
Probably.
Yeah. It's going to be weird because if anybody follows me at Real Jason Nelson on Twitter, they're going to sit here on X, sorry. They're going to turn around and they're going to see that we've had the baby. But obviously we're doing some episodes in advance so that we can take maternity leave. Paternity. I don't like the term paternity leave. I think Pete Buttigieg. That dude at the transportation office downtown, ruined that saying. But we're going to take some time with the baby. You were so close.
Yep.
You've given up on pants.
Yep.
Dave and I had a question when you first came into the studio. Dave, can you bring that up real quick? Could you point to here on where you bought that dress? Just, I'm assuming down up in that northern area. I don't know. What's the, I don't know.
It was a little shop in the Shire.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
You can come back. When you came out, I mean, you look beautiful. I didn't mean it in a negative way, but I just definitely thought, oh, goodness, where on Middle Earth did you get that? Anyway.
Some lady in a pumpkin patch was selling it.
I know we've talked about this, but you talk about how, like, you know, if you could insert yourself into a book and go, where's the real line for you is Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, right? But let's say you go to Lord of the Rings. My question is, where do you envision that you end up?
Rivendell.
Okay, and what do you do there?
Read all the books.
No, but I mean, are you an elf?
Yes.
Okay.
I would be the smallest elf.
You'd be like an elf-size elf?
Like a hobbit-sized elf.
A hobbit-size elf?
Probably.
Like you cook.
Maybe I'm just a hobbit that hangs out in Rivendell. I don't know. I'll organize all the books.
No, you can't read all the books in Rivendell if you're not elvish and can live forever, right? I'm just asking. Yeah, what kind of jobs do you think they have there for? Like, I mean, I don't know enough about Tolkien. Like, you are way more into Lord of the Right Wing than I am. Okay, I say this even though I read it young. It had a huge impression on me and loved the books. Not such a huge fan of the movies, but I kind of moved on to other genres and stayed within the fantasy realm. So I get it. Love the books. Have reread them before. You got a little bit more into it than I did. And so I noted yesterday that we were thinking about the name Mary, and then I looked up what the Elvish word for storm was, and it was a Lagos. Since all of our children, we call them by their middle names to everyone, but their middle names are whatever they are: danger, thunder, lightning, tempest. So I was thinking, well, we could get an Elvish one, a Lagos, and I was like, oh wait, then we'd have Mary a Lagos as a baby. Mary a Lagos. That would seem a little bit out
Trying
there.
to get a certain president and VP to pay attention.
Hey, I just
is that what that is?
Undersecretary of, readiness and support operations. I would like to work and improve the Army. I would be a great candidate. I would be very good at it. Anyway, this is not a time to sit here and petition for it'd be a huge pay cut. I'd be traveling all the time. It's not like it's an awesome job. It doesn't come with a little flag that you get to wave around. It's just a job where you go in and improve things. and readiness in the reserves. Anyway, so would you be like a janitorial elf? Do you think they have those, or do they like have enslaved people? Because I mean, you don't see a lot in the books of, they're having their conversations, and then an elf comes by pushing a cart. Excuse me, sir, while I get this trash can, sweeping leaves up. You know what I mean? They just wake up in beds. They just kind of like, they breeze over that part.
Yeah.
They don't breeze over it when they go to the humans. They talk very much about innkeepers and who's doing slosh and all
Humans
that stuff.
are messy, elves are not.
Nah. I get it.
They're too elegant to be.
But even
slobs.
if you took your time writing parchment and never made a mistake, quills break. I'm just saying. There's just stuff that happens. You know what I mean?
Spills.
You're in a forest environment. There's leaves that are around. That's got to get annoying, right? So do those jobs not exist, or do they just not talk about it? I mean, does the food just magically appear?
I would love
Are the elves so beloved that
ask
the
all
deer...
these questions to
Tolkien
experts. People that just like study all the things.
No, I'm just wondering because I'm wondering what kind of job. Because I want the job. I want to. Yeah, I'm with you. Be an elf, live a super long time, right? That's like pretty cool. I like the idea of living a long time because I like the idea of seeing change evolve, right? But I like to see great works be made. It would be neat to see people actually build amazing things, go to Mars, whatever. Don't want to live forever. That sounds like a horrible curse. But I also don't want a lot of responsibility. I had enough responsibility in my life. I don't want them to say, okay, you're now responsible for keeping this entire city safe. I'd be like, well, that's not why I became an elf. So I could read with my wife. So I'm just kind of wondering what kind of jobs would be they don't talk about. Is it janitorial service? You think that's the low poll on? I don't know amongst elves because they're so not messy. That would make it almost
Depends
super
on
humble.
the elves though too.
Would it be cooking for them? Like you're the cook of the elves. And I've done these jobs, so the reason I can say this, because you think they like glorify masons. Oh, great work, stonemason. You know, no one goes back in the kitchen like thanks for the food. I've never seen that in any of those fantasy novels. It's very, very dismissive. Now I kind of want to write a book from the
from the perspective
of the innkeepers amongst these great quests.
Nice.
I feel like the most boring thing ever. Every 4 pages, someone gets killed inside their pub.
And then you have to clean up.
Yeah, that's the extent of your... And then I made grog. Black bread this morning, then grog. Cleaned up a body. Black bread this morning, then grog. What a boring journal. You know, I'm kind of glad, based on what I see on the internet, that people didn't learn to read and write for a really long time. I'd hate to hear what some bored Roman was writing about. Just, you know, the everyday thoughts of the person. Oh, it's so hot today in the city without my slaves to fan me. I wish they would get done carrying my father by hand down to the shore. I don't know. You don't get a lot of that. Wasn't a lot of people that could read and write, not a lot of paper.
Too hard to write it in stone.
Just saying we've been blessed a little bit. You know, you don't have the record keeping of the common individual. God help the person who finds the internet in the future. They're just trying to sort through and find the information, and they're like, what's this Wikipedia? I'm still concerned.
Goodness.
What is Reddit? I mean, if you talk about just sheer amount of cultural things left behind, the internet is going to be the greatest depository of all human interaction. That's going to be a horrible place to come up with opinions about us.
Especially since most people don't act in person the way they do on the internet.
Yeah, if we had some
At least I hope not.
No, but if we had some catastrophic event that wiped out most of humanity and they had to pull themselves up and they reboot culture and, 50 generations from now, someone was digging up a site and they found the internet.
They're like, ooh, TikTok.
Right. No, but they just went to go look. Let's just say someone had enough of the internet in a central area that I don't know how the internet works, as you can tell. But they find the internet wherever it is and they go and look at it to try and gain what our value systems were, what we did. They're not gonna like us. I'm just gonna say that's just gonna be somebody's gonna go back and whatever they use to nuke things in the future, they're gonna do to our stuff. Kill the internet. Don't let anyone see it. It'll be like a thing people carry around in their pocket. Did you see what people used to believe? What weirdos.
Oh my goodness.
So I was bringing up jobs because I was trying to think. It's kind of random, but I was wondering who has the worst job in the world. And we were talking about this last night, right? We were going, hey, who really has the worst job? And you got to think, so we were trying to define what that means. And we very quickly came into this space of who we could dismiss from that group, right? So why? Because we were just, I don't know what it was, but we were trying to think of where is there a point where I've done a lot of things in my life. You've done a lot of things in your life. I've done some really horrible jobs. I'm not saying I did the jobs horribly. I'm saying that the jobs were horrible. But in relation, you're like, hey, I mean, it's not so bad, right? I mean, at least I'm not selling street meat in Bombay, right? I mean, pouring concrete in San Fernando Valley is bad, but it's not Bangladesh rice market bad, right? I mean, I'm just saying. So, it's very hard. So you start to think, well, what are the worst jobs? And immediately both of us went to prisoners with jobs. You're in North Korea. I mean, pretty much every job you're a slave. That's gotta suck. But that's not really a job, right?
That's just misfortune.
Right. So, I mean, Kim Jong-il or Un, I keep forgetting now. There's so many. Problem is I've been reading back into the 90s too much lately. Anyway, if you're the dictator of North Korea, okay, probably a sweet gig. Just saying, it's probably a pretty good job. Is that? Oh, I thought you did a fact check for me. This is why we need insurance.
It's but
oh, it is on.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Just Il was the one before him. It was his dad, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got the same haircut. I'm easily, yeah. But you got to think. Obviously, there's got to be some crummy jobs in there, right? So, head of his brother's security detail was probably a crummy job, right? That didn't work out. What if you're the guy who's got to give him shave his face? He doesn't shave himself.
No.
And you nick him. You can't show the people that he bleeds. So you're done.
Execution.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically doing it with a rifle to your head. So we said those jobs can't be on the table. That's not fair. Because if we start going through the dictatorships and the jobs that people are doing at literal gunpoint, that's not fair. That's not a fair evaluation of jobs. I'm not saying you can't complain about your job. And if you're in North Korea, I would encourage that, of all places, I would encourage you to unionize. See if you can't get some better working conditions. I'm kind of not really pro-union, but I am in North Korea's sake. But outside of that, if this is the one thing getting piped into North Korea, how amazing would that be? How amazing would it be to be like the one thing that broke through the wall? And this is all people see about the U.S. is this.
That sounds awful.
It's a national conversation about when you're going to have a baby, right? We should see what North Korean word is for storm or rain or whatever and use that just to see what that would. I'm willing to float that balloon. That would be insane if that was because there's one program getting through, it. Obviously, it's probably from South Korea, so this is pure speculation. But I love the idea that there's some sort of atmospheric bounce that is sending just one random program in North Korea, and it's like uber popular and nobody knows about it. It's like some fishing show. You know what I mean? Some guy who's just talking about the different anglers and the things he's caught. He just randomly posts it on the internet, and it's the one thing that has somehow gotten through the censors. I just love it. People break out to try and meet him.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, so what's the worst job in the world? Was our question. Other than being pregnant. You look so miserable right now.
I'm just not comfortable.
You're not comfortable? Do you need to find a way to reposition yourself? Do you want us to cut for a second?
I tried a little shimmy wiggle.
Okay, let's pause for 1 second and let's fix it. Technical difficulties. Yeah, so sorry about that. It seems that it's kind of a contradiction that you're about to exert all of this into this amazing thing of giving birth, but you are like helpless right now. You're like a turtle on a fence post. So just like, it's pretty funny to me because we can't help you. No one can really help you give birth. Like that's you know what I mean? But this, like just getting you into a comfortable position so you're not, I get it. I'm always in pain. So I'm always adjusting. So I totally get it, but that's pretty funny. You better now?
Yes.
Okay. Back to the subject at hand.
Yay.
So it was supposed to be a fun topic. The whole idea is that we were having fun with it last night, thinking about who has just like the worst job. And then I started to think of what scale it would be. Like if you're in a first world nation, the worst job is going to be different. And also if you're in a different income bracket or profession, so if you're a lawyer, you're obviously your idea of what the worst job is going to be different than somebody who never even thought of going to law school. You know what I mean? So when I thought of pouring concrete in the valley, if you're a professional concrete pourer, you're probably like, no, the worst job would be to be pouring concrete in, Siberia. And you're like, oh, okay. I don't know. Like, how do I know? I don't know what your idea of the worst job is. And everybody has their own idea because having spent enough time in the Marine Corps, and then the Army, but mostly in the Marine Corps, where I learned to clean. I'm not as grossed out. Like you talk about food, you don't like to touch dishes. So to you, I mean, might be washing dishes, might be like at an industrial kitchen.
No, that would be easier.
What if you were the plate scraper?
I would not like that.
Especially if you had to use your hands. And oops,
No,
we ran out of gloves
no.
today.
Give me the sink with the drop-down spray.
The thing,
the big sink.
you'd still be okay. No, I know you. You would never be able to sit there and look at everybody's food.
No.
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 It would bother you. The minute you started seeing bite marks and stuff, you'd be like, oh, I'm done. You barely do it with our kids. It's like, oh, throw that in the garbage. Somebody bit out of that hot dog. The other kids. Anyway, no, but so so I was trying to think, first of all, this is what the average people say are the things that they look at for jobs, as in physical demands, mental, emotional stress, work environment, pay and benefits, coworkers and management, monotony and repetitiveness, unpleasant tasks, customer-client interactions, work-life balance, and career advancement. I don't know any job that has all 10 of these, except for maybe working at a car rental agency. Right? That sounds about... So maybe that should be in the running.
Maybe.
Not management. Oh, it may even be worse with management because you have false hope. No, you know that it's going to get better, but you just work more hours. When everybody says, I want to talk to your manager, you are the manager. Because I've had so many problems at... Wait, let me think about, from a customer service, where have we had the most problems? I mean, per usage. I'd say hotels. Oh, wait, yeah, I'd definitely say hotels. But probably, I mean, because we don't care about fast food errors.
Right.
Because we use it so rarely that if we do have an error in the fast food, it's just not worth our
Yeah,
time
it's
to
more
go
like,
back.
oh man,
Yeah,
and then we
oh,
just deal with it.
I don't want to be that person that went back. I wouldn't trust anything if I went back and complained. And we don't complain at restaurants. So I don't think if you work in a restaurant, you have the worst job. And I've worked every job in a restaurant. And the worst job in a restaurant is working on the line but not being a sous chef. Like, that's just the worst. So all you do is the same prep. It's so monotonous. And they'll fire like 19 items at once. Oh, I hated that job. I'd rather be a prep cook. At least you just know what you're doing. But yeah, I don't think, I don't have no sympathy for me on that one. You can't, no job that a soldier or Marine has, can I sit here and say, like, no, it's the worst job. No, because I've done the worst jobs and not all of them, but I'm saying I know guys that did the worst. And even then, I think, well, at least you're not an underwater diver on a rig working with high voltage, because that's a dangerous job.
Oh, like the welders?
Yes.
Yeah.
The welders, that sounds like, but
That's
they get
crazy.
But they're really highly paid.
Because it's such an insane job.
I totally agree. But so was going to the top of so when I was I was stationed in California, we had recruiters that would come out on base. And one of the jobs they were recruiting for was building those windmills. Because you had to climb them, and there's a huge static charge up there. And if something goes wrong, you're dead. That's it. So this wasn't building them. This was maintaining fields. And they were paying an insane amount of money even at that time. It was like $170K a year, and this is in like 2002. But I still wouldn't say that's the worst job. Even though, because I don't think, is risk really how you would, or is it just a part of it?
I don't know. I mean, obviously,
go ahead.
If you're working that job, you know the risks.
Yeah, but could you imagine being Rosie O'Donnell's housekeeper?
No.
Because, see, I don't mind cleaning, but if I was Rosie O'Donnell's housekeeper, right? Especially at a guest house where she knew she wasn't going to be back. Imagine the state of that bathroom. Just putting that out there. Sorry. Saw a video of her recently. Started thinking, that's got to be a horrible job. I think there's a lot of personal assistant jobs that probably got to stink. Those jobs you take because you think maybe it might lead to opportunity. And you're just thinking, oh, this person is awful. I'm not going to make a list. Hillary Clinton's on it. But I'm not going to make a list. Just because,
Being close to anybody like that would just be...
Oh, my gosh. That's got to be horrible.
Terrible.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine being like a strap hanger is what we called it in the military, but a personal lackey for a super important person?
No.
Like how awful that would be.
And if you accidentally overhear something you're not supposed to hear, it's like, oh, please don't hurt me.
You have to constantly like swear an oath of fealty. I don't know. I mean, there's a certain level of importance. Yeah, you're right. You're walking on a conversation or they're with somebody or doing something.
Yep.
And you've got to keep a completely neutral face. What you got to do, the key in that situation is to keep doing what you're doing without saying anything. And later on, when your boss comes up, they're just like, whatever. You just look at them with a blank face and say, I have no idea what you're talking about, ma'am. Or sir. I'm assuming it's Hillary Clinton. But if because otherwise, yeah, you're right. You hear something, see something. You can't say something.
Nope.
Because that's the end of that. No, I mean, yeah, but I just the idea of being privy to that kind of stuff, but also still having to get their coffee.
Yeah.
Just feels like just such a lame-o thing. And you're around these people when they really want to unwind. And you're their whipping boy. So you're just like, oh, man. Oh, hopefully this will make that Yale undergrad degree worth it. I don't know. I've seen on Capitol Hill where you see all these people take these horrible positions where they're making, and they're making 40 grand a year, but they got to do it for 5 or 6 years so they can get into a different position. And they've got to know the right people and all. But it's just, so again, I don't feel bad for them because they're doing it for. See, I guess you can't say something's the worst job if someone's doing it to get ahead. I don't mean like making a sacrifice. I mean, how do I put this? They're going into an abusive situation, saying,
Knowing that it has an end date.
right. That's why I don't put being in the military on there as the worst job. Because I knew what I was in for when I went to Paris Island.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some masochistic stuff there. When you know it and you go anyway. Oh man. Yeah. So what qualifies, is being a horrible job? Just no choice, but you still got to do it.
Is it more about what the job actually is or who you're working for?
I think I'm going to come up with my answer. It's going to be self-deprecation.
I'm getting a call from Alabama.
Ooh, that's likely. I think it's going to be some sort of job where like you're a nuclear physicist who, oopsied with a few rods. And now you're, at a planetarium in Boise, but your security clearance has been negatively revoked. Like it's so bad that you're not even allowed to handle a spectrometer. It's just like, yeah, that's got to be humbling. Being a former child TV star, it's got to be a horrible job. Being a has-been, it's got to be a horrible job. Have you seen Corey Feldman rap?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to.
You don't want to, exactly. But let's just say that's what somebody's doing right now for a living. Okay? So that's a pretty horrible job. Like, I think a rise fall. No?
I guess.
So listen, I was looking into this and I started going through, what, did you have something? Sorry. Oh, okay. I was going through this and this is pretty funny to me. So you stop me if you don't find this amusing. But I started going through this list. I was thought, okay, well, these are normal jobs that people hate, but are things that people factor into why they would hate a job, right? But I thought, to me, the worst job is being a supervillain's henchman. I mean, that eventually you're going to be either a part of a totalitarian regime where you're easily disposed of, or you're going to be killed by some James Bondish type character. There's no really in between. Or the plot goes poorly and the volcano explodes on you. Okay? Right? So it's just, to me, like in the real world, because I believe there are supervillains now, being one of their henchmen, very similar to being an assistant to Hillary Clinton. But being one of their henchmen has got to be, so this is in line with what you said, actually. But so I asked it, I said, hey, what are some sought after skills in being a henchman, right? I'm not going to read all 25. I gave it a random number. I thought this was pretty funny. It's because I just said, hey, please make a list of 25 sought after skills in supervillain henchmen. You go, okay. This is AI talking to you. It says combat expertise. Like, for example, proficient in hand-to-hand combat, martial arts, blah, blah, blah. Stealth and infiltration, technical hacking, demolition and explosives handling, loyalty and discretion. Okay, I like that, the loyalty and discretion. Unwavering loyalty to the supervillain with a strict adherence to secrecy and confidentiality. So they got this whole list.
Because you have to.
Right.
We already talked about
They got other stuff in here, psychological manipulation, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, did I just go backwards on something and forget to... Oh, there it is. Okay, so anyway, I'm looking at it, and I said, I wonder if I asked it the right question. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because it didn't seem all that... Everything I saw on this list, as I started to go through it, I thought, oh, that's kind of like military skills. It is. It's all like multilingual communication, tactical planning, cybersecurity defense, pilot and driver skills. I'm like, is this a National Guard recruiting poster? Is that how the evil henchmen get everybody? Is they just slip in the normal poison and chemical handling, psychological manipulation, financial acumen? I'm like, okay, yeah, counterintelligence, survival skills. Be all that you can be. I was just like, this. None of this is really all that. You know what I mean? None of it is
Uncommon.
right. Like other than, uh, no. Yeah, other than when they use the word supervillain, like unwavering loyalty to the supervillain. It's just loyalty and discretion. Let's replace that word. Unwavering loyalty to the state with the strict adherence to secrecy and confidentiality. So none of that was all that. It's just a recruiting poster. This sounds like skills I gained from joining. Join our supervillain plot and you can learn gadget and technology mastery. Get a degree in espionage and intelligence gathering. Learn strength and endurance. Participate in acting and theatrics. And learn survival skills. Now recruiting. Hi, Klaus Schwab sent me. He said, go to the island that looked like me. I didn't realize it was a volcano. So I thought this is not fair. So I said, let's please make the same list. I'm very polite to AI, as you're well aware.
Yes.
If I ever talk to Siri, it's always please and thank you. Listen, when they inevitably take over, they'll remember. Okay, they'll remember your search history, and they'll remember. That's why I've never researched how to kill AI or said it out loud up until then, where I was clearly joking. I said, please make the same list, but make the boss much more diabolical. Because I didn't want a recruiting poster for the army. Certainly. It's certainly with an exclamation point. It's very happy to do this.
This is fun.
Right. So remember that combat mastery? This one says lethal combat mastery. Not just proficient, but ruthlessly effective in lethal hand-to-hand combat, including techniques designed to maximize pain and suffering. Oh my gosh. This is the AI talking to us. Shadow operative. Counterterrorism expertise, explosive sabotage, capable of planting explosives in strategic locations to cause maximum chaos, death, and destruction. But I love this one. Unquestioning obedience. Absolute loyalty to the state supervillain with no hesitation to carry out even the most morally reprehensible orders. So this one gets a little bit more
dark.
Yeah. This one gets where I was going. It's like, okay, now I'm working for a supervillain. Okay, now we're at Schwab level. Okay, it's like DEFCON 1. I don't like being there, right? But I just wanted to. So then I thought I would like to know what we could do with this supervillain and how would I participate. This is me talking with AI. So I said, please use the same list and create objectively impossible plots. Because I want to be very clear with AI. I'm not trying to take over the world. Okay. So I want it impossible. I don't want plausible. I want impossible. I said, please use the same list and create objectively impossible plots for this diabolical supervillain to conduct. And how I, as a henchman who's learned these skills, I'm going to take the first list, the army list. I'm not taking the second list. There's some nasty stuff on here I'm not repeating on TV. But what could we do? And one of them I love, it says global mind control via satellites. One, we're already doing that. Okay. So, no, I can't. Okay, are you ready? Draining Earth's core to power a doomsday device. That's the plot of a Star Wars movie. Freezing time to become eternal. How would you freeze time and become eternal ruler? Here's the epic question. If you freeze time, does everything just maintain its carbon? It doesn't even make any sense.
I don't know.
Everything would burn up. You guys idiots. AI is stupid. Turning the moon into a gigantic
Take
death
it
ray.
back.
Who are they death raying at? Like, is the threat to kill Earth? It's kind of like a gun that shoots yourself. Stupid moon. Creating a black. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, in building an army of clones from history's worst tyrants. Hold on, I want to know about this one. The supervillain seeks to clone and resurrect the worst tyrants from history to form an unstoppable army of evil. I don't think that works.
No, their egos are all too big.
Yeah, and I can't, because again, as we pointed out early on in our elvish scenario, someone's got to do the menial tasks. So if you get enough supervillains, I mean, someone's got to go get coffee. I mean, you gonna trust coffee that Genghis Khan hands to you?
No.
No, right? Are you gonna drink that? I
Nope.
wouldn't drink it.
Nope.
But you drink it first, out of my cup. Wait, what are you wearing on your lips? I wouldn't trust anything out of that. I don't even have to get into other horrible people. Alexander the Great knows about poisoning. They'd be the first guy I'm not taking a drink from. So I'm just saying, there's no task that they can do. Thinking about it, janitorial services, would you let Genghis Khan into your room? That guy's not known for leaving things behind the way they were originally meant to be. Just saying.
He doesn't leave it better than he found it.
Ancient Mongols were the worst housekeepers. You can't say that. I know it.
Oh,
Based on their history. The worst poison testers were Alexander the Great's people. I don't want to think about. Why would you terraform the planet into a toxic wasteland? That sounds like an alien plot. Turn the oceans into lava? That's not even sciencey. Oh, I did ask it to be unrealistic. Darn it. Oh, implanting a device to control the world's weather. That's completely not happening. I love when they admit they're doing it, and they're just like, what you gonna do now? We've been cloud seeding forever, you idiots. Anyway, so I was having fun with it, and I thought I'd make it the most fun for you.
Oh, goody.
So, our final example for today, I asked it to please take the above examples and plausibly insert Nicolas Cage.
Oh, good.
So,
I'm so excited for this.
do you know what I love? I love that when our kids say they're going to go get pillows, especially when our 4-year-old says it. Hold on, I'm going to go get Nicolas Cage. So for those of you who don't know the backstory, my wife, one year, I got her an anniversary present, and it was sequined pillows that when you reflect it, move the face or thing, a face would appear, and it was Nicolas Cage pillows, which I got for you because I know how much you hate Nicolas Cage. I trick you into getting Nicolas Cage things. And I've taught our children to use his name. They now associate his face with pillows. So a 4-year-old has to go get Nicolas Cage. It was like our 2-year-old needed to sit higher up on the chair. He's like, should I go get the big pillow or should I get Nicolas Cage? I was like, we can flip it over though. I don't want her to ruin this. She's got a diaper on. Just saying. Anyway, so our children will know who Nicolas Cage is.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It'll be my lasting. You're not going to let them watch Goonies at my funeral, are you? Yeah, this is for all the Nicolas Cage I had to deal with. So,
Maybe we'll watch it, but skip your favorite parts.
yeah, this has all of the Nicolas Cage roles in. They just replayed all of the same things. And then I had it said, I said, wait a minute, you didn't give his character a name. I do like some of the names. Like, if he's going to become the, they just made it out of time. If he's going to turn the moon into a gigantic death ray, it's colonial. My English is well. Good and talk. Colonel Lunar. Clonal? Or what? You know what it is? Is we were talking to our children and we're trying to get them to get not excited. School starting. And we want them to get excited about looking forward to something. Not, it doesn't have to be whatever. Well, they're in the starting school phase, right? And so anyway, when they start school, we want them to have something to look forward to. And I don't want it to be Christmas because no kids look forward to Thanksgiving. Can you imagine being the weird kid? It was like school starts. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait till Christmas. I'm going to get a bike. Or I can't wait till football season starts. Or I can't wait till Halloween. Like, man, I can't wait to get a drumstick. My Uncle Merle comes into town. He smells like leather. It's great. What? Oh, what are you going to do for Halloween? And then after Uncle Merle gets there, my Aunt Linda comes in. She always brings pie. What are you talking about, dude? Nobody does that. No one like starts the school year and starts thinking about Thanksgiving happening. Right? That's not your go-to spot. Usually for us in the Northeast, it was football, but really it was Halloween. Already in September. I seem to remember school starting in September. Why does it feel like school?
Yeah, me too.
School starts here in like August. Like, I guess I know why. What else are you going to do with the kids? It's 1,000 degrees. It's 3 Arizona out. Finally got hot, right? We had a very mild summer.
It's been hot, but...
Yeah, but we had a mild summer in comparison.
Yeah.
We still have grass in August.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah. And we don't have a dirt lawn. Like, we had to get the lawn mowed.
Which we never have to do in the summer.
Ever. I'm like, the guy helps us out. Point is, I can't. I was like, I'll see you in the fall. I called him. Hi. I know it's 3 Arizona out, but I somehow have grass. I'll come help you. I can't be out in the sun. I have no regulator. I'm broken. But yeah, in September, when I was in the Northeast, you thought about football. I remember the smell and feel, but really, you thought about bonfires. You thought about the leaves turning. We don't have the leaves turning here. We just have they appear and then they disappear. And then you have, but it's true. But you would be, Halloween was the big one, right? I remember thinking about like within 2 weeks of September starting because you're bored already at school. Like, oh man, we're still learning stuff this year. Thought this year we were just doing gym.
And lunch.
I fooled myself. Yeah, one free period. Yeah, but it's like it's 6th grade. I know, but it was Halloween. It's costumes. What are you going to be this year for Halloween? What are you going to be this year for Halloween? Man, by the time October 1st rolled around, it was full on Halloween mode at school. You were annoyed if they didn't have decorations up. That's why I think the creep started. Kids asking about it. And teachers started doing it. It affected the markets. Now all of a sudden we're looking at Halloween decorations.
And then they started doing it earlier because
supply demand.
Yeah.
Like,
October 1st, everything had to be up, so you have to start before then.
Yeah, because the kids, needy little buggers. No, so we said, hey, are we allowed to say little on TV? Yeah, okay. So you turn around and you're like, hey, we're gonna on patriot.tv. I forgot to do the promo in the beginning, whatever. Anyway, so not whatever to you, producer person watching this. I meant whatever, like I'm an idiot. We were thinking about it, so we were talking to the kids. We're like, hey, this year, let's do a Halloween theme. Give them something to work towards in the fall, right? Because we don't watch the NFL. And I was kind of thrown off by... I realized that we don't buy into the whole horror thing. That's like not our thing. So, aside from the cow hauntings that we have here, we don't really it's all very. So we said, hey, we should do a pirate theme, or what was the other one?
I can't remember.
Colonial theme. That's why I had colonial stuck in my head because we were going to do a colonial theme. I was like, okay, so because we can modify some boxes. But we could incorporate it into our civics lessons, right? Somehow I fit pirates in. But more about the trappings of daily life,
Right.
you know, what the average person was experiencing. And they, you know, 'cause they're kids. They're like, so we're going to be Ghostbusters on a pirate ship. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how this works. They're like, okay, we're going to be elves in a colonial village. I'm like,
Like Christmas elves?
Yeah,
or...
like what do you mean? They're like woodland elves. Like, no. They're like, okay, well, we're Robin Hood and we're on the pirate ship. And I'm like, no, okay, no, start over. No, you guys, so we explained to them what a theme was. They're like, oh, we get it. Okay, great. So we want to be Ghostbusters on a pirate ship. And I'm like, we just said you can't. They're like, no, we get it. We understand. We can't use electricity. I said, no, I don't have a comeback for that.
I mean, somebody's got to get all the ghosts on the
Right, but I was
ship.
trying to go, and I thought, well, it's supposed to be Halloweenish. I don't want to say Halloweeny. That sounds weird. It's supposed to be Halloweeny, but we want it to be. But what we were saying was we wanted to give them an environment in which they could sort of have some fun and create something. And I said, hey, I can go all out if you pick early enough, but we want to get them started on it so we can incorporate it into art lessons. I was really hoping they'd go with Headless Horseman. Because we really want to do the colonial thing this time, but I don't think we're going to travel to the Northeast during the election year. So I think they're going to push colonial off till next year, and we're just going to talk about other factors of the fountain, which we've already gotten into. What accent was that? We've already gotten into the whole. We're in the constitutional stage, but I'm saying we were going to do a whole, from the Mayflower on. But I'm feeling like because we can't travel to the Northeast, we shouldn't.
I mean, we can still talk about it without going there.
Yeah, but I mean, but I like the immersive thing.
I know, but we don't have to save it for later. We can just come back to it later.
It's hard being in Texas because if you're not talking about Texas history and you're just talking about settling of if you're trying to stick to U.S. history, not stick to it, but incorporate more of that into the lesson, which is hard because I'm a Texan. I was born here. So, but when you try and incorporate it, it basically starts at the westward expansion. So it kind of kills all of the... So I wondered if I was thinking Sleepy Hollow. We could do kind of a conversion and do a Sleepy Hollow theme. Kids weren't buying it. So they're now fixated on a pirate ship, but it's got to be haunted.
Maybe if we can borrow a horse.
You think
someone?
Do we know someone with a horse? I mean, that would let us borrow it. I should see. No, they know we don't have the right kind of fencing. I mean, do you want me to really scare our children? Do you want me to ride around with I can't ride a horse. What am I saying with my hip?
I would be.
And then he died.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna get on a horse while pregnant?
I won't be pregnant in October.
That's true, but I'll still have no hip. Yeah, no, you could do it. Let's just put the little shoulder, put the shoulders, give you a little flaming whatever. Let you ride around the yard.
I'll do it.
Have the kids. Oh man, what is the level of stuff you're allowed to do to your kids before it becomes,
Depends on the age. I don't think our kids are at that age.
At the age where you're allowed to do that?
Where that would not be completely terrifying.
So when I was, how old was I? When I was 8, I would go and stay at my friend's house, and he had horses, and we would ride out and camp out in a field, peg the horses down and camp, right? I mean, we're little kids. He'd be like, ooh, it's haunted. And there'd be horses would ride by in the middle of the night, and they're not supposed to be out there. Ride or whoop around us. This is Dad and his friends. We had a couple beers and we're like, hey, let's go mess with the kids in the field right there.
That's awesome.
Because you're a kid and you think you've gone on this great adventure and
but they can see you from the house.
Yeah. And so they went and I'm thinking, and then when we had that Halloween party where everybody got rabies, we all had they had this like walk of terror, and it included like some parent took the chain off a chainsaw and revved it and would chase after you. I'm like 7.
Yeah, see, that's too young.
So it
I
really
used
stuck
to
in my
go-
head. I
yeah.
gotta tell you, when I hear a chainsaw, I'm ready to run, which is probably an instinctually good thing, because whether a tree is falling or it's a maniac, you're already
You're
ready.
prepared,
You're
yeah.
not curious. You're not like, oh, what's that humming sound? You know, you're just like, oh, that's not good. Let me be more aware of my surroundings. I learned that early. I also learned not to pet dogs that are drooling a lot. Same night. What else did I learn that night? Yeah, no, but I'm saying like but they did this whole walk of terror. You had to go down and get this token from the shed at the bottom of the walk. That was actually a good quarter of a mile. I've gone back and looked. That's still like, now that I think about it, that was a pretty horrible thing to put kids through. But there were a lot of adults that were drunk there, so that's good. So that worked out for them. We don't want to do that. But I'm wondering, what is the level that we're allowed to scare kids to, like, without? Because we used to do fun stuff with our kids, and we still do fun stuff with our kids. I mean, used to, but we remember that time that back when we were still allowed to watch Disney before they revealed who they were. And our then youngest, but our oldest boy, he's about 2 or 3, and he loved Toy Story. He couldn't talk. And we turned around and took his toys that he got, and we'd reposition them when he was sleeping, like they'd been playing all night. And he knew because he couldn't talk. He had issues speaking. But he loved it. So, and he expects money for that tooth he's about to lose today. So when the tooth fairy comes, I'm just, yeah. I forgot what I was talking about actually there.
2 different things.
So, sorry, that just popped into my head. I was like, oh, and he lost a tooth today. Anyway, but we were allowed to do big imagination things for them. Sorry, you're going to have to edit that out, because what I did was I almost exposed who the Tooth Fairy is. We're not allowed to give the identity of the Tooth Fairy out loud, because we've agreed to make this a family-friendly show no matter what. But it made me think, if we're allowed to do big imagination things, that should mean we're allowed to do scary things. So I think the Headless Horseman thing is fine. But are we allowed to go outside and like scratch at the window? Or will the dog
The dog would probably
kill us?
lose it and jump through the window. Would not be shocked.
And I'd really hate for him to trigger the claymore. So yeah, I just, so you can't scratch at the window, right? But I did do something the other day that they are still bothered by. I turned my phone on and put it behind something up on a high shelf, and I got it to play weird noises and like haunting noises, and then never gave the kid, yeah, I did that. Never gave it away. And they still, like, now they would go, if I went and did, they go, where's your phone?
Yeah.
At the time they were just, they didn't. Now they're just like, there's something in the walls, maybe. But that's not really all that, you know. And I'm not going to fake something like, oh, did you see that? That's not fun.
They had asked.
If they could make the house haunted.
No, because what was it, last year when they did the silly string?
Yes.
Yeah, they had asked if we could do that again.
They enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We let them play Ghostbusters with silly string.
Yeah.
Did we
They made their own ghosts, and then we put them on a string
and made them shoot them and run through the house? Yeah, but that's because last year we did a Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This year we were trying to do something that was more tied into school so they could do their art project. It's like trying to tie all this stuff together is hard.
They can have a cannon that shoots silly string if we're doing pirates.
They could do that. Yes. We've thought of a couple of options for that. But I'm not going to make them Ghostbusters on an alien ship, on a spaceship. I mean, a pirate ship. That's
Why?
Because that's not historically accurate.
You don't know what they were doing on haunted pirate ships.
Bankman was not there, and they did not have a proton
Well, they don't have
pack.
to be the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So they're time traveling Ghostbusters? Why would they go to a pirate ship?
Just people hunting ghosts on a pirate ship.
With
That's
the
haunted.
same tactics as a Ghostbuster,
No, we can make
which
them
they
change
pass
it up.
down through time.
Yes,
That were
sounds
picked-
good.
Is that how we're building this story?
don't know.
This sounds like horrible fan fiction written by somebody. we could probably look this up, and this is the plot of a horrible fan fiction. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. No, but it's fun to it's fun because they had a vote today. They're like, we're gonna vote. I was like, that's weird. There's 3 of you, so 2 of you get to go. So 2 of them picked. And then our oldest was like, no, hold on. The youngest didn't get to pick. I was like, 2-year-old doesn't get to vote. She's not a Democrat. Okay. She doesn't have to say in any of this. She can't truly express it. So she's over there trying to tell it, like, no, seriously, listen up, Tempest. We can have scary horses or a pirate ship. She goes, pirate? No, yeah.
No, nay.
Right. Yeah. She's like, no, it's exactly right. Pirates are stupid. Pirate? Yeah, stupid. Right. But don't teach her to say stupid. She's like, yeah, but she's just saying that. She's saying pirates are stupid. It's a split vote. Looks like we're going to have to do our thing. I'm oldest. I love how this all works out. I was like, well, the pirates just might have to attack the colonial village. Solution. Parent win.
Former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
Every American needs this historical DVD keepsake. Flynn delivered the truth, whatever the cost. Hand signed by General Michael Flynn. Order now at the Patriot TV store. Use promo code PTV at checkout to get special savings. The Patriot TV store, a secure, hassle-free shopping experience.